Hi friends, it is very difficult to lead saintly life. We see saints wearing saffron clothes. They wear wooden sandals, they don't wear chappals. They eat simple food and they sleep on floor. And wherever they go, if they stay in one house, they stay only for 3 days. And after that, they have to leave that place and go to some other place and go on giving spiritual discourses. Whenever they give spiritual discourses, sometimes they get money, and that money they use it for noble cause only, for the world's betterment and for the benefit of the society, for the people they use. They never use it for their selfish purpose. If that is the situation, we can understand how difficult a saintly life is. Sometimes saints may be genuine, sometimes we may find fake saints also. Some saints, they start their life genuinely, but this money attracts them and then they have to get some desires. Based on that, we have a story. Let's.
Once lived a saint, moving from place to place, giving spiritual discourses. He was being accompanied by his disciples. Wherever he went, he was getting money and gold in the form of coins. Money which he got was spent for their traveling and for maintenance. As other saints, he should eat simple food, that too only once a day. But his disciples were eating like others in the houses where he was giving his preachings. His gold coins which the saint got was converted as the idol of Lord. He kept it safely in his clothes. Once his disciples were aware of it. One of his disciples was very poor. He wanted to feed his guru along with his other disciples. He was too poor to feed them, but he wanted to serve all devotees along with his guru. He sold some items in his house to serve delicious food to them. All enjoyed the food besides Guruji's preachings. The saint continued his stay on the second day also. Audience number increased. He had to feed them all. The disciple had to feed them all. His disciples' desire to feed them all was intensified. He sold his wife's golden sacred thread and fed them with delicious food. Even on third day, saint's discourse was continuing. His disciple, who was his host, nothing he had to feed them. He said to Saint, Swami, my house is sanctified with your preaching, and I am very lucky to feed all devotees. But now I have nothing to feed all these devotees. Then the saint said, First you delete the words I, my, mine. Everything is ours. If you have the grace of Perumal, you can get it. Nothing to worry. Devotees are increasing day by day. This is what is expected, said Guruji. His disciple nodded his head happily. He was feeding his guests with all delicious food. Everyone was talking about great saints' preachings and the host. In this way, 6 days were spent. After 6 days, the saint decided to go to some other's house. Once he wanted to take his golden statue outside. It was so light. 8 kgs of gold statue was reduced to be 8 tulas. He called his disciples and asked if anyone touched his golden idol. His host, who was feeding all these for 6 days, came forward and said, Yes, Swami, as you said that we should wipe out the words I and my, I considered even the idol is ours. As you said, if we have grace of Perumal, we can get everything. From this idol I was taking gold and I was feeding all. In this way, God poured forth His grace on all of us. The saint realized he was just preaching, but his disciple implemented it. Though he was preaching that we should erase I, my, mine, he still had the feeling that the idol was his. He became possessive. but his disciple was ready to forego everything, including his wife's gold. As he was leading saintly life, he shouldn't get the idea of converting and accumulating gold as an idol of his. Instead, he should have given it to his disciple for the maintenance of all gathering all those days. He felt ashamed of himself and embraced his disciple affectionately.